All right, and we're live. So welcome everybody to the after party for Seek to Reason. Who's with us now, and same with Faithless South or Evans, as you know, and Terry from the land down under. Even one of his Vegemite sandwiches. What was that? We don't.
I think he might be choking on his Vegemite.
Yeah, maybe.
Poor Terry. We hardly knew him.
Yeah. All right. So, Adam, these are a couple of the people that are in the group there that you'll get to know over time, too. And like I was telling you before, man, anytime you need to bounce some ideas off of people, we are some of those folks you can do that with.
Excellent. Cool.
What's the matter, Terry?
I haven't got any ideas at the moment.
Well, we're talking ideas you might already have if you ever needed advice for, coming out to family, that kind of thing, right? So,
okay.
Apparently, I'm the only one in the chat here now, so.
Wow.
Oh, I'm here too. So
I haven't even got the thing going yet. It hasn't come up. Oh, yes, it has. Just then.
I love you, Terry.
Okay.
Absolutely fantastic. It was a good interview, guys. I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you had quite the story to tell. Is there anything you forgot about that you might want to throw out there right now?
I'm pretty sure I hit all the major points. Like I said, but it's kind of funny. I never really, gave the timeline of my own story kind of a much of thought. I mean, obviously, I was aware of the path that I took, but I had never really, sat down and tried to figure out step by step what happened. And there's a lot of little plot lines and other characters in that story that could have been mentioned, but not really necessary. But I think I covered everything.
A good story always starts with "Once upon a time."
Yep, and ends with "They all died."
Right, yeah.
I messed that up. Happily ever after. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I get those two confused.
The most fictional thing in all of fiction is a happy ending, right?
That's for sure.
That's right. Well, unless you go to one of those Asian masseuse shops or something.
What gets me is when you see movies and stuff like that, and you see the cowboy or someone riding off into the sunset, and it's usually with the horse or with another bloke.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a very happy. That might be a happy ending for some people.
Well, it's the old ride off into the sunsets. They always make you go, riding off into the sunset. Some of the ones I've seen, he's got the girl he rescued on the back of the horse with him.
There you go.
Oh, that's the better one, yeah.
They don't show 9 years later after a bitter divorce because your entire relationship was based on a crisis that was easily resolved. Yeah. I won't like the 10-year sequels for a lot of these stories, like Sleeping Beauty and things like that. Or all the classic Disney tales.
Oh yeah.
Like I married this lady because she fit this shoe and we danced once. It's like that's not a good foundation. He snores. She has annoying habits. Y'all are screwed.
And the horse claims for alimony.
Yeah. I mean, it was all just a ruse to get the prince's money anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snow White's visiting the Seven Dwarves in the trailer park for some extracurricular activity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, finds a dead chick in the woods, kisses her. That's totally believable. But I mean, I don't know. That's the lovely thing about fiction. We just suspend all of our normal reasoning facilities to fall in line with the story.
Yeah, you just made me think of something that I tried throwing this out on Twitter once, but I didn't get many bites on it. So I'll ask you guys. But I'm curious. For Atheist, if if it's ruined your enjoyment of horror movies or supernatural type films, any of that kind of thing. Do you find it more difficult to suspend belief to enjoy the films, or has it not really affected that at all for you?
That's actually a really good question, because myself, I've wrestled with it too, because I used to, at one point I believed in like ghosts and stuff. So horror movies in that sort of vein, like hauntings and possession type movies, always were up at the top of my list. But now it's like, I can go in, I can watch them and enjoy them for what they are, but that little voice in the back of my head is just 100% bullshit kind of thing, right? So
yeah. I find that I enjoy as far as horror goes, I enjoy the creature features more than I do the ghost and the demon type things, because it just seems ridiculous. So
for me, it was never like the supernatural horror films never even got to me, even whenever I was a believer and thought about, the demons and angels and crap like that were real. Just because it was all so far-fetched, like the creature flicks were always the ones that more interested in me, because it was more plausible. But yeah, I mean, so I didn't really like them in the first place, and now it's just laughable. Like, I didn't think that it happened before, but now I'm sure that it doesn't exist. But as far as other fiction is concerned, I actually find myself enjoying, say, like religious plot lines more now than previously before, especially by like masterful storytellers, because you can look at whenever I was a Christian and you'd read something like a good fantasy novel that's got a hard basis in religion, or even sci-fi, something like Dune, things like that. For me, it was always like red flags, like, oh, well, this isn't the true religion. It was almost like not like a sin, but like you're dabbling close. Like the Force, even in Star Wars, was always like false gods and things like that.
Right.
But now I find myself appreciating those plot lines a lot more, because I can look at the sociocultural impact of these things, and especially writers like Sanderson and even the Star Wars films. Dune is another really good example where you can, I find myself enjoying the religious plot lines more, because I can see them for what they truly are, which is basically it's all bullshit, but it adds something to the story that I was missing previously, because I kind of pushed off treating that as legitimate.
Well, you are watching PG movies now because you're so young.
That is true. Mostly.
Yeah, you can't get into the theaters for those R-rated movies yet.
Nah, this is actually a glue-on beard. I peel it off at night. It fools most of the people that card me for alcohol.
It's one of them Lee press-on beards.
Yeah.
I can't even watch a lot of those older movies, like the black and white days and 50s and 60s, because they're so ridiculous in there. But it might be just the science fiction part of it. It's just so weird.
Oh, don't be shitting on science fiction, Terry. I'll have to come over there.
No,
especially not good old science fiction like Flash Gordon and stuff. Oh, you're killing me.
Well, they are classics. I give you that. You're talking about like The Man in the Moon.
Yeah, man, all those.
Oh, the
book.
ones.
Yeah, I mean, well, the films were cheesy, but they were cool for their time. But the books and stuff were awesome. And I'm typically a more of a fan of the books than the film adaptations.
Yeah, the book's a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
But all those old science fiction writers were just brilliant. The amount of stuff that they guessed was just fantastic. And there's a lot that actually came to fruition. Like that's, I mean, they've got way better track records than like psychics and stuff like that.
Who's that bloke named Clark or something?
There's a bunch of them.
Arthur C. Clarke.
Isaac Asimov was good.
H.G. Wells. H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, two, I know. That's two.
Many.
Lovecraft was so good.
Oh yeah, he was.
Jules Verne, Aldous
Yeah, Jules Verne,
Huxley.
sure.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why didn't I know them?
Authors like that.
Gene Roddenberry.
Well, yeah, I mean, but he was the king of Star Trek. I don't really think he wrote too many novels. Mostly screenplays, really. So, what other kind of genres do you guys like?
I like action.
Action movies, yeah. What about like thrillers or mystery type stuff?
Well, if it's a thriller action, yeah.
Terry's a simple man. He likes action.
Does it have explosion?
Yeah. You can combine any other genre with it, and he's fine. Romance, as long as it's got action.
Yeah, as long as it's got action.
Hey, some of those romance movies do have action, hubba hubba, if you know what I mean.
Any kind of action.
I didn't realize we were going into those genres, Neil.
well, one of my after parties is to be expected most of the time.
At my age, I like to see a bit of action.
It's rare, but it happens, right?
Makes it all the sweeter.
Yeah. I'm just lucky if I, I'm not getting into this right now. No, that's a topic I'm not going to dabble into at the moment.
There you go.
I might sound like I'm like that poor desperate old man or something.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
The older you get, the more desperate you are.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking, it's kind of funny, Adam, you were talking earlier about being around 13 and stuff when you were into Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. By the way, Alice in Chains has become one of my top 5 all-time favorite bands.
Do you do you like any of their new stuff?
I do. I don't mind. I don't mind Tim at all.
Yeah, I think that The Devil Put the Dinosaurs Here is a fantastic album.
Yeah. No, I like Black Gives Way to Blue as well. I thought they were great. He sounds uncannily similar to Lane, but of course,
the harmonies from the other shoot, I can't remember his name, but the harmonies from the other guy really
Jerry Cantrell.
Yeah, it really brings back the original sound that they had. So, yeah, absolutely. I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. But it's funny because you were talking about how young you were, and now I realize you're quite a bit younger than myself and the other old codger here, Terry. Because I was working in the record stores. I was like 20 something, I think, at the time, managing a real record store in a shopping mall here called Richmond Center. The record store was called Sam the Record Man, which is fairly famous one here in Canada. And I remember all those albums when they first came out. We used to play the crap out of them all the time.
Yeah,
yes,
it was my what do you call it? Your kind of teenage angst awakening
Sure.
was with the for me was with Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and those
Pearl
guys.
Jam. Yeah, I saw them back then too at the Lollapalooza festivals that they used to run.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
I was corrupted when I grew up with music. That was my problem. Because my mother always listened to a certain style of music until I could work out my own style.
Yeah, what did you end up doing? Get away from the Nana Muscuri or whatever?
No, she was the Elvis Presley type.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's not so bad.
That wasn't
Yeah.
I've seen every movie nearly, I don't know how many times.
Hey, Badger.
Nope, there he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
He's
the
here.
Badger.
We think he's
the
here.
underground dweller.
Mm-hmm.
He's just muted himself.
Yeah.
This is one of the guys I was telling you about earlier.
He's playing with his beer bottle.
Yeah. Beer bottle.
Beer bottle. We're going to run the new guy off like ASAP. Just run off the bat. These people are weird.
No, like I said, I watched a couple of the after parties already, so
Oh shit!
kind of knew what to
Knew
expect.
what you're getting into.
You shouldn't have done that.
Well,
I'm not
Duke's
saying
not
anything
here.
about me.
You've corrupted your brain.
He's
There
got
he
a
is.
voice now.
There's the badger.
So, Badger, do you
I
ever
hear you
sleep?
lot saying stuff about me.
No, we weren't. No.
We're saying nothing. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
That douchebag Badger? No, we would never talk about him.
Mike's hot there, actually.
And yeah, I do sleep, just not at sensible times.
Oh, okay.
Well, it is after all, what is it? 2:10 in the morning.
Yeah, this is a perfectly good time.
I knew that
It's
off
the
top of my head
perfect
that
time. Perfect time for cheese and crackers.
Ooh,
Oh, man, you're going to make me hungry.
yeah, too late.
That's okay.
Already hungry.
Okay, I got some chips, crisps, or whatever you call them in the cupboard there. I can always raid
I
them.
have cheese and crackers, so I'm good.
I've got to wait till my sandwich settles.
Well,
I wish I could say me instead of my.
My roommate just finished making a couple of batches of both the white and the red, like Manhattan and New England clam chowder. So I got some.
I see. I've never been a fan of clam chowder.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I like something
Just-
I can stick a fork in.
Man, I
Well,
don't.
this is nice and thick.
It's thick enough to eat it with a fork. Some thick clam chowder, dehydrated clam chowder.
Yeah. Hey, Pikachu.
Hey,
Hey,
You're still alive. All right, that's good.
yeah, they rescheduled everything till tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I'm on. I have to kind of start myself from 12 o'clock onward to the surgery begins. So
Oh, okay. But you're guaranteed to get it tomorrow, or what?
yeah, they have me on schedule.
Very good.
So
You'll be out of there in no time.
yeah.
Back to your normal color.
Yeah.
So what is going on here?
What's going on where?
Yes.
That kind of reminds me of the back in the day, people would ask me all these like hard questions, and I would throw out my standard Trivial Pursuit answers like FDR or something like that. Start blurting out stupid answers. 1960.
1776. Day America was born. Roll Tide. Praise Jesus.
Roll Tide.
1776 will commence again.
We went to the zoo today and saw a bald eagle, and I got incredibly patriotic. There were Coors Light falling from the sky, and all of my clothes magically turned into American flags. It was glorious. My kids, who have never learned the Star Spangled Banner, started spontaneously singing it, just as the bald eagle lighted on the post.
We got them all over the place here, man, outside.
Hey, Neil, you never guess what I got to go and do.
What do you got to go and do?
I got to go and do
Donate blood.
No, I got to go. I can be back, but if you're still here, I'll leave myself here. But I don't know whether to jump off or jump back in again.
He's out of Vegemite.
No,
It's understandable.
No.
He's got too much Vegemite.
I'll jump back on if I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem, Terry. No, he's gone. We've lost our Aussie.
How was the show
I
earlier?
can kind of do the accent.
Yeah. How was the show earlier? Because I had family members over here that wouldn't have wanted to see what was going on, so I had to be off. I couldn't watch any of it.
I should have told him to get the hell out of the room. You had other things to do.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
It's time for porn. Get out of here.
Yeah, screw you. I got an interview to watch.
Yeah.
It went really well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here with us right now. Pikachu,
What's up?
that's Adam. And say Pikachu.
Hey, Adam.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Pikachu's stuck in the hospital right now. He's got to go in for an operation. So
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they allow you to actually jump into these things.
Do. They do. They have Wi-Fi here, so
No, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're not using your usual VPN, so you can.
No, I
hide
can't.
yourself.
I can't use a VPN, so that sucks.
Well, fuck. When you're there, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You can get them
That's
through
all
your
right. I'm
phone.
using one for you.
There you go.
Yeah. I can basically, with my account with the VPN, I can go and hook my phone up to the VPN too, but I don't know if I want to do that just yet, because if I go off of that server, then I lose all my contacts and everything.
No.
So,
Really?
yeah. If it disconnects from the server or disconnects from whatever, I lose all the contact.
That's a bit
And then I have to
silly.
reconnect to the server again. It's Apple's bullshit, so
Oh. There you go.
yeah. Apple does this thing where they link the phone with the MacBook and with the this and with the that and blah 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 blah, whole 9 yards. It's also they can do a FaceTime on the MacBook.
Great.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I'm becoming a bit of a dinosaur these days. I don't do very much in the way of the technology. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think this if you knew my sort of history, because I'm qualified in IT support. But I'm finding myself becoming a tinfoil hat guy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He's been watching Alex Jones again, y'all.
Don't say the Earth is flat, please.
They're putting chemicals in the water. They're making the freaking frogs
Oh,
gay.
yeah.
No, of course the Earth's not flat. It's all the other planets that are just illusionary discs.
Lights in the firmament, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And
Makes
they have
total
to
sense.
crack open the dome there, the firmament dome, so we get rain every once in a while, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's why the clouds come up. If we saw up into it, then we'd see heaven and all die, because you can't look at God's face. Unless, of course, you're one of the people that did. Details don't matter.
No.
Yeah. That's why they can't go into space on a flat Earth.
It's all fake.
If it did, all the water would come in.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing about being in this part of the hospital. You didn't get it in the mental ward, but they always, every single day except for Saturday, they have a religious person come up here asking for communion or something like that. And I could probably tell them not to let the person in, but they do it every single day except for that one day.
Now, they blow me away, because my wife had an operation recently, and there was a chaplain going around in the lobby
Yeah.
praying with family members. And he came up to me and he was like, "Sir, can I pray for you?" I was like, "You can, but you can do it over there. I'm an atheist."
I like that line that yeah, you can pray for me and I'll think for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just blew my mind. This guy's wandering around the waiting room like all these people, they're currently having surgery, major surgery, especially given the ward that we were in. It's not like anything minor's going on. And here he is, this real jovial chaplain guy, like, hey, can I pray for you? I know your loved one's getting a liver transplant, but it's a happy time, you know? Come on. Just go somewhere. That's what you need to do.
You're going to donate all your organs to the other patients.
Yeah, I mean,
do something useful.
I mean, and like, feasibly, this dude's probably getting paid for this too, at least by some sort of a church. So maybe he was a volunteer, but at the same time, you know, I'm like,
I'll pray for your loved one.
I think you should have asked him how can he bring all the faith healers with him.
I mean, that's the other the irony of ironies. You're in a hospital talking about praying for healing, and these are the kind of people that, like, you know, they get out and they're like, oh, thank God for. And even whenever my wife had her operation done, they're like, well, praise God that she made it through all right. I was like, no, she had a damn good surgeon. You know? Yeah, that's who we should be thanking. Her name is Dr. Powell. She's awesome. My wife would be dead without her. Can you please send her a thank you card? Jesus didn't do shit. He didn't even show up. He sent some fat guy that was laughing the whole time to speak for him. Come on.
Oh, come on. You haven't seen the painting with Jesus guiding the hands of the surgeon?
Yeah, no, I don't want a first century Jewish rabbi guiding the hands of my surgeon who is working on my wife. No thanks. He was a carpenter, right? As somebody who has done carpentry work, I am not qualified for surgery. Don't give me a scalpel.
Be okay if they were doing bone related things, as long as you want a mortise and tenon in your leg.
Or one of those nail guns.
Jesus didn't wash his hands, so you don't want him anywhere near there.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't touch me, Jesus! Get your hands off me. I can do this. I went to school for like 19 billion years to do this. So.
Saw a comic a while ago. It was a guy driving and he goes off the road and he's crashing through something and he goes, "Jesus, take the wheel!" And Jesus appears and then looks at him and goes, "Yeah, I'm from 2,000 years ago. I can't drive."
I have no idea how this works. What side of the road am I supposed to be on?
Yeah.
Well, that depends where you're driving.
I think with the thing with religious people coming here, they it's more charity or something like that. They don't pay them to come here. So.
Oh. Why, have you had somebody come and see you? Oh,
somebody did come in the room, yeah. So.
Hold an upside down cross at him. Back.
Be gone, Satan.
Yeah.
You should have just deadpanned him whenever he walked in, been like, "No, thanks, I'm a Satanist.
Get away from me, or I'll spray you with my satanic water."
Yeah, the priest from my satanic temple will be here any second now.
He makes a lot more sense than you do.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
no.
Well, son, you're on your son. It's all going to be over soon. Do you want to renounce the devil? Well, at this stage, I really can't be making any enemies.
Hitchens.
What was it? It was the eminent theologian and philosopher Homer Simpson that, whenever asked on Pascal's wager, said, "Well, what if we're actually just pissing off all the other gods whenever we pray to this one? It's best to just pray to none."
Yeah. Or pray to them all at the same time.
Homer Simpson was one of my favorite philosophers, by the way.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite Homer Simpson quotes is, "He's stuck on a cherry picker that is slowly drifting down a river."
Oh yeah.
And he says, "I'm not normally a praying man, but if you're out there, please save me, Superman."
Yeah. I got on my YouTube purchase list the episode where Homer's his neighbor was going through the museum, seeing the evolution sort of stuff, and then went into the schools and found out they were teaching him, and then went to the principal and whatever and told him, "Look, you can't teach evolution and this and that." And then they had what's her? It's Homer's daughter
Lisa.
saying that no, this is Lisa saying that no, this is legitimate science, etc. Blah 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 blah, and taking it to court and all that sort of stuff. It was real funny.
They parodied that the court case that they had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, The Simpsons was brilliant. Still is, but it was for sure brilliant.
Yeah, I like Family better though with the jokes and stuff.
Who's outside?
Did BBA join in the road again?
Yeah, I'm gonna step away from the call just for a second, but I'll be right back. I'm not gonna log off or anything. I'll be right back.
Yeah, just hit the mute.
One of my favorite God-related lines in a TV show is in Firefly.
Oh, it's a great show.
Yeah.
You're welcome on my boat. God ain't.
Yeah. That show ended far too soon.
Yeah.
What kind of pissed me off today was that my family member, he controlled all the remote for the television and stuff and wouldn't really do too much, but he had on National Geographic, and they had this show on where they were showing like all those holy places and stuff, and they literally went to the chapel on the Holy Sepulchre or something like that, and they said, no, this is the place where Jesus was buried. And then they went and they said, well, there was a Jewish burial site here, and this and this and this, and this verifies the Bible and stuff like that. I said, how the fuck do they know this shit? And I was like, wait a second. If he was crucified, the Romans were under control, not the Jews. So the Romans would have been the ones to order the crucifixion, which would have meant that he would have still been on the cross. He wouldn't have been buried. He would have, rotted on that cross and then just fell off. And then the other thing was that the Jews couldn't kill him because of who was in control. And so the whole thing with burying Jesus is all bullshit, and then
there's a lot of things that don't quite add up in that story.
Well, they typically gave the bodies back, if my memory is working correctly, especially of people of the Jewish population. They would crucify them and then give the body back to the people for their burial rites. And I may be misremembering. So it's not unfeasible that Jesus was buried or died on the cross and then was given to the Jewish people. Now, how you would determine which tomb is his is a little more far-fetched.
Yeah.
But even if you could nail down the tomb, right? Even if it had a big old freaking engraving, Jesus of Nazareth buried here, it still doesn't get you any closer to any sort of miraculous resurrection, right?
Yeah, and there's another problem. It's like I said, the Romans were the ones. Yeah, the Romans were in control of it, not the Jews, so to speak. So if he didn't break any Roman laws, and he existed, then they wouldn't have crucified him. Period. They wouldn't have even arrested him.
Well, yeah, but according to
broke the Roman law on.
Yeah,
Sunday.
he was viewed as a political dissident. He was saying that he was an emperor above the emperor of Rome, and there were a lot of things that he said that would get him in some really serious shit with the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
I mean, just the stuff that he's assuming that and I'm not a mythicist by any stretch of the imagination, but the Romans had plenty of cause to
I am back.
String him up,
Welcome back.
Hello.
So they hashtag Heathen was saying something about they typically put them in mass graves after crucifixion, but I think that was only people that didn't have any family ties left.
Well, and the other thing is supposedly, according to the story, gosh, who was it that gave up his tomb? He was a Jewish leader. Was it Joseph of Arimathea?
Yes.
Or am I? Yes, is that correct? Mm-hmm. That gave up his tomb for Jesus. So it was special circumstances that wound him up in the tomb rather than in a mass grave or in a more traditional burial practice.
Yeah, some special circumstances. He was a magic wizard man.
I'm amazed that I remember Joseph of Arimathea. That's my I get my gold star for tonight.
Isn't that Joseph of Arimathea? That's not the same guy with the Technicolor Dreamcoat shit, is it?
No, that's just Joseph.
That's a different Joseph.
I don't know. So many of them. So
I love that description of the coat of many colors, though. That'd have been much more engaging as an edgy teenager.
Yeah.
Well, that's what what's his name? The play made the play Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. What's his name?
I've been to see a few different versions of that play, and I was in a version of that play as a child.
Oh, awesome!
Oh, cool.
That's a good play.
That's the same guy that did Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, just gonna say yes.
One of the songs in that play has just an excellent line in it. When his brothers show up and they're all hungry, one of the lines in it is one of the lines in it is "It's getting very hard to see us from sideways on."
I'm gonna pause this for a minute because I gotta go to the restroom.
Oh no! Take us with you.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do anything scandalous.
Unless you've got people with video cameras around. That's how you get famous. Pervert masturbating in a hospital bathroom.
Well, if you watch Dr. House, then you see some weird shit.
Yes, House was actually a great show.
YouTube has just started recommending me clips from it lately, so I've suddenly decided that I'm back into it again.
Awesome. What the fuck were we looking up? Oh yeah. I'm looking something up here.
I'm gonna have to look up going to get some more crackers in a minute. I'm nearly out of crackers.
You bring me some while you're up, bud?
I'll bring you some, but I'll probably eat them myself.
Oh. That's disappointing. Fat kids gotta eat, man. Come on.
It'd be a bit awkward for me to internet them to you.
Nah. I get cookies on my computer all the time. Crackers can't be that much different.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, that's the guy's name.
Yes, that's right.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. And he did all the music for that and many other ones, and lyrics were by Tim Rice. I didn't know that. Wow. Huh. I kept thinking, what the hell was I couldn't remember Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I kept thinking Hans Christian Andersen for some reason, which is something totally different.
Not quite the same guy.
Doorknob Head says he's a cracker. So if you're short some crackers, Doorknob Head's volunteering.
No.
Hashtag's leaving. All right, see you, hashtag.
Oh, cool. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay, Badger. Just nod and agree.
Yeah. Smile away.
Yes, absolutely. I saw this. Somebody on Twitch just posted a picture of a whole arm full of baby badgers, and
Really?
I was just picturing them doing the penguin thing from Madagascar. No, not Madagascar, is it? Yeah, it is Madagascar.
Happy Feet?
That film with the animals.
Oh, that narrows it down a lot, Badger. Thank you.
Where all the penguins is smile and wave, boys. Smile
Yeah, that's Madagascar.
Yeah, that's
isn't it?
Madagascar.
Madagascar, yeah.
I have kids.
I had that in my head because there were all these little baby badgers there, just looking sort of suspiciously at the camera.
Or were they your badgers by the chance?
They might be nephews.
Nephews.
Wait. All right. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. What?
Has Dr. House successfully diagnosed you?
Yeah. Make it look good. Make it look cool.
How'd your interview with Leah go the other day, Neil? I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Oh, with Gray and Christy.
Yeah.
It was it went really well, I think. They quite enjoyed it. I made Christy cry. Mission accomplished. No, in a good way.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
I wasn't like calling her names or nothing. I was telling her, some stuff that I've done in the past, and she thought it was pretty cool. So
that's on my to watch list. Just haven't got it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one, man. I mean, I pretty much divulge all the stuff that I do behind the scenes. That with the blood donations, and my attempt at donating a kidney to save my friend's life, and Lifeblood Entertainment stuff, and all my the sun runs and all that shit that I do, right? So,
well, you made a good friend on Twitter. What was it, yesterday? That guy with the puppy pic. The whack job dude that was cussing you out. Yeah, that was wild.
I'm like, dude, what's with the hostility?
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. He starts out all hostile like that well before that conversation even got going.
What are we talking about now?
Some idiot stick that's fuck all atheists. I hate atheists. They have no reason to live and they have no hope and all that shit. I'm like, why do you think this shit, man?
Is he that guy on the Twitter?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nah, you're probably thinking about the most recent thing with the Red Pill crew.
Oh, good lord, that was.
Oh, did you see the apology that they issued?
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah. There was an apology earlier tonight, and it went on behalf of the Red Pill religion crew. We are sorry, and then they launched right back into the same vitriolic, hateful nonsense. Like,
yeah, that guy is a piece of shit.
I mean, I have no qualm saying that he is a trash human being. Like his stick about atheists being hateful and stuff is nothing but pure projection in my mind, because that is one of the most hateful individuals I've ever ever come into contact with.
I just read today what he said to Shannon Q, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. We know a lot of his hangers-on have left after this.
Sounds like he's projecting so hard he could show off PowerPoint presentations.
Oh, it's sad. I mean, there's just no reason for any of that.
He's a deplorable human being, man. What do you expect?
I can't imagine saying that to another. Yeah, I don't know. I was watching that thing as it went down, and it was every few seconds. It was just some more just hateful nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
He implied several times in there that all the atheists, that they should, basically rise up and kill all the atheists. In the same breath that he's saying that atheists are hateful and want to kill people. It's like, the irony's lost on you.
Yeah, it's
no wonder why he thinks that all of us are angry at him.
Because everyone is angry with him because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get angry at that douche canoe.
Yeah, just a sad, deranged human being. I feel sorry for him. I mean, like, how do you wind up like that, right? Like, how terrible is your life if that's what you think about 24/7, is how much you hate other people? It's just, I mean, there's no quality of life there.
No, I hate everyone, but it's just because they don't shut up.
You're a badger, though. That's kind of like in your nature, isn't it?
to follow on from my chat with Sassy Atheist earlier, has anyone seen or read or listened to any version of Wind in the Willows?
Oh yeah, of course.
You know Mr. Badger and Wind in the Willows?
Yeah.
That's the kind of badger I aspire to be. Just hibernating.
He's a good badger.
Just hibernating all the time. And then someone knocks on the door and you just open the door like, what do you want?
So I had somebody interesting follow me, and I can't make out if this is just a satire page or not, but I think it is, because he's got the red American flag, the most in capitals. Most is in capitals. Bigly MAGA. And
it's got to be satire.
Like, that's what it's got to be, because some of the stuff he posted is just hysterically funny. So it has to be. But at first I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing following me?
Yeah.
No, it's sad whenever the real MAGA-ists, the MAGA hats, make it hard to tell a satire account from the real one. Like, I follow a bunch of the Donald Trump satire accounts, and they're scary spot on with their stuff. Like, there are times whenever I'm reading a real Donald Trump tweet, and I think it's coming from a satire. Yeah, that's right not here. Good whenever it's the leader of the free world here.
That's a great white
right here
you've got there, Neil.
Well, yeah, I know it's hard to see.
A bit closer.
There. See, right here, I've got where I called him a deplorable human being, but now the tweet is unavailable. It's right under Shannon Q's post there.
Yeah. No, so, his account got suspended.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like immediately. Good. Apparently, you can't threaten to murder people on Twitter. It's against the terms of service or something.
Oh, fuck, who knew?
I know. Twitter silencing conservative voices.
I should mention I do have one of those. I do have one of those "Make America Great Again" hats.
Oh, man, I want to get one.
I'll tell you how and why I have one. The how is quite funny. Do you know a few years ago, like a year and a bit ago, I think, when Donald Trump was supposed to be visiting the UK, and then he just didn't?
Mm-hmm.
For the visit, Poundland, which is sort of UK dollar store equivalent, decided to get a load of Trump merchandise to sell off for cheap for Trump's visit. They had the American flags and the red ties and the Make America Great Again hats and all the little Trump bobbleheads and all this business. And then he just didn't show up. So they decided, oh shit, what are we going to do with all this Trump merchandise? So they decided to sell it off as Halloween costumes.
That's brilliant.
And the why I have one is because it annoys all my friends.
I want to get one of the blue ones that's shaped just like that, and it says "Make Orwell Fiction Again."
I could do one of those.
Shit. There we go. Yeah, so somebody posted in another, that guy you were talking about earlier with the puppy dog picture.
Mm-hmm.
Punished puppy, I think is what they were. This dude posted there, modern atheism is just a blind religion of science. Out of Africa, something about whatever OFC means. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Only declassified and widely available. I don't know.
Of course, I think it is.
I believe it's of course. And I just, and recently there's been this resurgence in the atheism is a religion of science movement. And I actually lost a lot, what little bit of remaining respect I had for Dr. Cy Gart, who of course has been on the Non Sequitur show, who's written essays about this, like this notion that atheism and scientism is like linked.
Scientism.
And like, I don't know. I mean, and like, scientism is a thing, right? So scientism basically says that we can distill everything can be explained by science, and it's like a dogmatic adherence to science, and but nobody actually thinks that, right? Like, I've yet to meet.
No, that's right. I think it's possible to say that everything could potentially be explained by science if you had enough time and the right scientific methodology and knowledge to figure it out. But from a lot of things, we just don't.
No, but there's no dogma in science.
No.
And so, but there's this prevailing notion that atheism is a religion of science, and that's such garbage too, right? Because and what people can't get through their head, atheism is a single position on a belief,
nothing to do with
on a
science.
single belief, right? And whether you define it as a lack of belief or whether you define it as a disbelief doesn't really matter. But it's still, regardless, even under the broadest definition, it's still a single belief on a single position, or a disbelief or a non-belief in a position. And so
I can't say how many times we've tried to tell S.J. Tomlinson and the rest of them this exact same thing, and they just deny it.
Of course they do.
They deny reality, so there's that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're familiar with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean,
she's a nutter. Fuck.
And like, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's certain principles that both sides of the conversation hold that they really shouldn't, right? Like there's things that the atheist community as a whole repeats that are frankly garbage, right? But it's far outweighed by the apologist community, because usually if you show somebody the history and things like that, like if they're repeating nonsense that they've heard propagandized, right? Usually our community will go, oh, I actually didn't know that was the actual history behind X event, right? And they'll say, okay, well, we'll move on from that. But like, it doesn't matter how many times that you tell Cy Gart that there are no actual adherent. I mean, I've yet to meet an adherent of scientism. Somebody that says, look, everything in the universe can be explained away and can be deduced scientifically. And that's what they actually, honest to God, believe.
Well, you should say honest to God, because the scientist.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's that threads like this just blow my mind, because I'm going through this one here. Blind religion of science.
Well, I retweeted it, I think.
Yeah.
Just recently, about how hysterically hypocritical it was. Just that statement. Blind religion. I think, if you've been duped by religion, then you're pretty blind already. Or blind to reality.
If you want to define religion in such broad terms, I got into this with Cy Brugencake one time, where he did the atheism as a religion, and then I got him to list how exactly it was a religion, and it was something like pursued interest, right? Because you got to like really dumb down the definition. And then I got him to admit in the same thread later on that he was really into some sort of hockey team. I can't remember which one it was, Blackhawks or something, some hockey team. That was something that he was really into. And I'm like, okay, so Cy follows the religion of X hockey team, And then it was like, well, no, it's different. No, that's the same. I'm using the exact same definition that you provided earlier in this thread to define your religion of hockey. Now you need to repent with Jesus, because I embraced that. I said, under your religion, your definition of religion, my atheism is my religion, along with drawing and Marvel and Star Wars and video games, my wife and my kids, and an innumerable amount of things.
Damn it! That means that my disagreement with Disney's Star Wars things makes me now I'm the old Orthodox Star Wars church, and they're
Yeah.
they're the church. They're the Star
The Old
Wars
Testament.
Protestants.
Versus the New Testament.
And the sad thing about it is I never got a response from him, and I pestered him for like 2 days on it. I was like,
Wow.
look, you're equivocating.
Yeah.
And so if you're
he's
going to claim
probably
that,
off puffing and puffing somewhere.
But there is
Yeah.
something funny though.
You got me.
There is something funny though. Star Wars does have a religion. It's called Jediism.
Well, yeah, but that's not what we.
yeah, but I mean, George Lucas borrowed from
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
from other religious traditions, big time, especially Zoroastrianism. So
Yeah.
it's not like, I mean, it's an appealing idea. The Force
Seriously,
makes
though,
crap a lot more sense than
seriously,
Jesus.
the Legends is the only true continuity.
Yeah, especially since the Force can be
Disney
demonstrated.
canon is non-canon.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty sad whenever Star Wars makes a more coherent religion versus the 2,000-year-old zombie Jewish pastor. You know, like, you can reframe that, and it makes a whole lot of nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But serious though, Legends.
I mean, if the
Legends
Bible would have had
continuity is
Jedi's
the
in
only
it, I
true
might
Star
still be
Wars.
a Christian.
You damn right.
You were saying, Roger?
Choking the dang Centurion.
I'm saying the same thing I've been saying for months. Legends continuity is the only true Star Wars. The Disney canon is non-canon.
Well, my favorites are still the first three movies that they did. Yeah. That's Star Wars for me. I like the animation stuff that they do with the Rebels and all that. That's pretty cool stuff.
I
some of that's
unabashedly
pretty
like all of the Star Wars films. I mean, there are problems with the prequel trilogy, but most of my problems with those are.
You know,
Are
somebody
pretty-
made a good point. Somebody made a good point about the prequels, as bad as they were. They said that if Star Wars never existed and they came out with the prequels, everybody would have loved it. They would have thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's my problem with the prequels, right? And this is, I think, this is where I think that a lot of people have problems with it. The prequels, George Lucas went back and he read The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell about 30 times before he sat down to write the script. And he took it as a bullet point of things that characters must do. And that's where a lot of the problems with Anakin's story is you're taking what would otherwise be a good story and smashing it into the mold of the hero's journey. And you hit every point in the hero's journey, even the stupidity of the virgin birth. You know, the Force impregnated her, right? The only reason I was even close to in there is because it's one of the steps on the hero's journey. And so, and that's where the plot of the movie fell apart. Like if he would have just deviated a little bit and kept it organic like he did the originals, you know, of course, follow the general plot. That's how you make a good story. But
it's very prevalent.
But didn't Anakin have sex with Padme or something like that? Somewhere's in the story.
yeah, I mean, no, it's Anakin's mother
Later.
was the one that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anakin's the virgin birth character.
Anakin was the
yeah,
virgin.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, she, you know, oh, well, who was his father? Well, I don't know. I just got pregnant one day and out popped the baby. Like, come on. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
she
hear what
had
you're
sex
talking
with
about.
Victorians.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorite prequel memes that's going around is a little video of Qui-Gon and Anakin talking. It's going, Master Qui-Gon, I heard Master Yoda mention midi-chlorians. I was wondering, what are midi-chlorians? Qui-Gon just leans down and goes, it's heroin.
Yeah, I don't know why they bother making that. That just seems weird.
Yeah.
There are problems with the prequels, although there's also a lot of enjoyable bits in them. But my thing with them is they started off and gave a framework to a whole load of really excellent expanded universe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, they could have made.
They had a lot. Yeah.
They could have made Darth
They had a
Maul
lot
the
in
father.
them.
That would have been a gripping sex scene.
They had a lot more. They had a lot more in the prequels than they did in the first ones too. So,
Sure.
but again, that's the difference between a 1990s and 2000s film and a 1970s film. So,
Yes. Well, they did the best they could with the stuff from the 70s. So,
By the way, read the Republic Commando novels. They are one of the best Star Wars related media in existence.
Who wrote them?
Karen Travis.
I liked one of the books, or two of the books that I really quite enjoyed because they were sort of little short stories in the book, was Tales of the Cantina and Tales from the Bounty Hunters. And I tell you, you read these books, and there are certain scenes in the movies that you will never be able to see the same way again.
Mm-hmm.
Right, especially Tales from the Cantina. Every time you see the cantina scene, you know what everyone in there was doing before, during, and after, which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah, if you haven't read that book, it's quite good because it talks about Greedo, it talks about the band members.
See if I can find it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it talks about Bosk, or not Bosk. He's in Tales of the Bounty Hunters. Just like Hammerhead and all the other characters like Snaggletooth and all them, and what they were doing just before that scene, during, and after. Why they were all there, and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool.
I should mention, if you do choose to read the Republic Commando series, sorry about all the tears that may happen, because I'm recently rereading the series, and every time I sort of sit down and read a few chapters, I have to stop again because I'm emotionally ruined.
Just put the book down, man. Go grab a tissue, have a couple of cheese and crackers, and you're good.
I know on YouTube there's a cutscene film from one of the Star Wars games from a long time ago that had all the old stuff. I think it was Star Wars: The Old Republic, and it was everything dating back way before Anakin's time, and all the different things that happened, like with Yoda and all this and that, and how the Sith came around, and basically all that sort of stuff. So, and the Sith actually came from another planet, and they were like red-skinned and stuff like that. And
the whole Sith species.
It
was a species.
It was a whole Sith species, and
evolution.
The Sith that you see, in the films here, that they're not the Sith that are part of the original the canon from dating back to that whatever.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. If you go back in the Star Wars prehistory, there's Galactic Society has existed for millennia, and they are it's very complicated.
Yeah, the comics are really good too. The what is it? The ones where they're back on Tython. I've got the series. It's a 3-comic series where it basically goes over the birth of the Force.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then there's another thing too. The Sith actually have spirits too, just like the regular Jedi, I think.
Yeah, like Marco Ragnos, he was one of the original, one of the very early Sith Lords. He keeps reappearing because his spirit is floating around in the Force somewhere.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Jedi. Fantastic little
there
you go.
Comic series.
Oh, great. Now I'm not going to get monetized.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm just
poor Neil.
In that case,
you didn't have a chance anyway, bud.
In that case, let me just change my logo to that dildo.
You mean the beer bottle that you're currently holding?
Oh no no no!
It's,
no.
The beer bottle. Yeah, no, I've seen it.
No, I occasionally change my display picture to a bad dragon dildo. That makes
Does
some
the
good
name
stuff,
know
bad
about this?
dragon.
Well, as fantastic as this has been, I'm gonna have to sign out. I got to be up in about 4 hours for work. So
Ooh, jeez.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm an
tell
early
you all
riser
about
too.
the dildo.
yeah, but, no, this has been great.
Another time.
Seriously has been. Like the conversation is fantastic. I wish I could stick around, especially for the beer bottles or whatever they're.
Don't ask him. Just don't ask.
Just leave now. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too as well, guys. Y'all take it easy.
But Neil, I just want to thank you for
Yeah.
having me on the show. It was fantastic. I've been looking forward to telling my story, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure having you, man. And I very much enjoyed your story as well. And there are a few people have mentioned that they have as well. And I'm going to shut this down anyways because I must go and eat some clam chowder.
All right, well, I gotta get out of here anyways.
Enjoy.
See you
Great talking
guys
to you guys.
later.
Peace, guys. And thanks everyone
All right,
for watching tonight. Yeah, Pikachu, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I just want to say thanks everyone for watching tonight, and thank you guys for jumping in with me. It's always fun when we do these things. And until next time, guys, remember it's called faith because it's not knowledge.